thought it might be interesting for this podcast to talk to you about what's on my music stand. Of course, what is on my music stand is constantly changing, but there's always a good mixture of exercise material to practice tone technique and articulation, and repertoire for the next recital coming up. So the first book I use a lot of is Philip Benno's Technique d'Embouchure. It's a book of sequences and a very good way of warming up. Then Tavenel and Gobert, never too far away from me. Lots of really good daily exercises to get your fingers moving. I also use my own book, The Expression of Colour, because that really helps keep my sound consistent and develop my colours, dynamics, vibrato and emotion. And it's full of melodies, which are always good to play. You should never forget your melodies. Then onto my repertoire, and that, I said, is changing according to what concerts I'm doing. But at the moment I have Rameau's Pièce de Clavecin en Concert, and these are beautiful lyrical pieces. Then I play quite a lot of Christopher Caliendo's music, and at the moment I have two that I'm doing, Tango Andaluz and Tristessa. The Tango Andaluz is nice and fiery and lively, and the Tristessa, as the title suggests, a most beautiful, beautiful tune. Then, okay, I've discovered some studies. I've got Marcel Moy's 24 Little Melodious Studies. Again, never be without them. I probably don't need to open the book now because I know them so well, but it's often there as a reminder. What else? We have Poulenc's Vocalise Etude. This was written for singing students, a song without words, but the most beautiful melody. Andy Scott, his Sonata for Flute and Harp. Andy Scott is professor at the Royal Northern College of Music for saxophone. He's a prolific writer and has written some wonderful pieces for flute. The Sonata for Flute and Harp, if you have a duo with harp, it's a piece you all ought to play. Carl Reinecke Flute Concerto. I've recently done that and I've got to do it again in a month, so I keep that on hand. This is a new piece by a composer called Geraldine Green, and it's a nocturne which she's just written for me for a new book I'm about to publish, which is all lovely lyrical pieces by composers of today. And that book is going to be called Vocalise. And finally, the Rabboni sonatas for flute and piano. These are classical sonatas, wonderfully lyrical and fantastic for opening recitals. Oh yes, one more. It's the Royal Academy of Music scale book. Again, a book that's never too far away because we always do need to practice our scales. And that's it.